Welcome, everyone, to Analytics Are For the Nerds. We are excited to have you back here. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up.
Hi.
Am I back?
I didn't know it was anybody to say hi. We just stared. What? Oh, then Allie's left. All right. Well, hi everybody. She finally nailed a open, and then she just deserted us. I'm sure she'll be back. Ryan, how are you today?
I'm great. Now we can just spend the next hour talking about our game of pool, or our games of pool over at Good Bar. A couple of last weekend, right? I think it was. Yeah.
We did. We crushed. Well, here Allie's here. So now you already lost the opportunity to run here, because me and Ryan are talking about our the date. We have not had a Analytics Are For the Nerds date. We keep on asking you, and is it something about us? Can you just
I'm never invited. You guys went out on Saturday, right?
You know what? Yeah, but I got
like a text at 12:30 in the morning. I was in bed, so then I intentionally, because I'm a monster, text you back at 6:30 in the morning.
Why I didn't invite you this last time is because sometimes you just get sick of hearing no. Sometimes you get so hurt by hearing no all the time that you just let it go. But yeah, right. I don't know what it is. The first time I played with Ryan, I go, Ryan, I'm really, really bad at pool. And then we ran the table for hours. And then again, it was like, I'm not going to have that luck. And I didn't have that luck the other day, but we won a few games before we got kicked off the table. And, we were men amongst children at Good Bar on a Saturday night, for sure.
The fact that you said a few games, that to me already says that's why I would say no to hanging out with you guys playing pool. You just one and done.
Yeah, we were playing 3 games. You would have just been stuck there with all the 22-year-old girls that were dancing.
I'm like a dog with a frisbee when it comes to a pool table. I see that thing in a bar and I'm just like drawn to it. I'm just like, it's like a magnet to me. So I can't not play pool or darts when I'm at a bar. It's just, I have to do it.
I feel that way about those like fill-in lottery games that are at
What do you type, the quick draw?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what a great way to lose $4, So sorry I got kicked off. I apparently just looked at celebrity gossip, and I was trying to close the windows, and it was like, you're a loser, and it just like exploded my computer. So here I am, everyone. Did you guys talk about the big news?
No, we're gonna leave that with you. You can have it be the first part of everything, and nothing really.
Did you guys know that
Wait, you don't have another one already, do you?
That the Buffalo Nuggets are back-to-back champions, baby.
Like, they cheap out on you this year? Are they not giving you a ring? They're just like, here's a sweatshirt? Or
no, this is just because
like you, right?
I'm cold. The rings don't get made until later. So when the next season starts, there'll be a ring ceremony. I don't know if you went last year, but
Lou, if you ever win a ring in anything, you'll know that it doesn't just get made right away. Okay,
I was like, do they just make them that they just like they take the twisty or off a bread loaf? Just like, here you go.
You should know that it is class ring season, so this Jostens is going to take a second to make. So yeah. So,
I want to know, are you going to wear? You can't just wear one. Like, I know you don't wear it often. You keep it as kind of a game, but anytime you wear one, you have to wear them both, right? Like,
I'm gonna get them sized so they both fit like next to each other, so my hands will be like gnarled. I'm like so looking forward to this, like Velociraptor hand I'm going to develop. It's and I wear them to games until we start. Like, I was wearing them all season, and then we were losing, so I stopped wearing them, and then that's when our record picked up. And as an Irish American, you got to do what what the tea leaves say. So yeah, here we are, world champions. It was great though, very fun. So glad you guys could make it.
I mean, no, we were too busy hanging out with each other as friends. Sorry, Allie. Sorry,
So-
sorry you couldn't give us one ticket. The tickets are like $300 for those championship games. Allie couldn't even sneak us in the back or anything.
I can't even give you a battery for your clock. So, you know, I am the problem. There's so much to talk about, you guys, besides another championship team that I'm involved with. But so much in the sports world that is not fantasy football. Scotty Scheffler's charges have been dropped. 27-year-old, or as I think, 45-year-old Scotty Scheffler, as we know, was arrested before his PGA round 2 and apparently hit a police officer because he didn't understand that this meant stop and that meant go. And he was like, "You said go." And the cops said stop. And then he ran him over and dragged him. Ryan, as our Analytics for the Nerds attorney, what's your take, and how often when people say stop, do men still go?
Well, we're going to start the clock here. As we know, I charge by the minute. So how long do you have? I can give you the long-winded answer, which is the only way that I know how to tell things is by giving a long-winded answer. Look, I'll say this. The video of the supposed incident, I mean, what an egg on the face moment for the police department. I mean, you can't argue. I mean, the guy legitimately, the officer filed a false report by claiming that he was dragged to the ground and had abrasions on his wrist. I mean, good God, it's just sad how you know, certain entities, certain people can go on these power trips and they want to involve themselves in the moment. And it really does, I think, reflect poorly on just the whole, you know, the course. Even, you know, unfortunately, they didn't have anything to do with that, right? It's just a local police presence, but it really it does not look good. And, you know, fortunately, they dropped the charges. But even during that preliminary hearing, I don't know if you saw that. I mean, he was objecting to there being an adjournment of the preliminary hearing, which is so commonplace in these types of proceedings. And it just looks horrible. It's a bad look all around. So good on Scotty Scheffler. And now hopefully he'll get back to his streak of winning golf tournaments, as I rightly predict.
Yeah, he's how old do you think he looks? That's my follow-up question.
I would say I'd put him at, like, he's really only 27.
27, I know.
Yeah, he looks more like late 30s to me, I would say.
It's the thin upper lip. I know. It's something. Thank you for your take. That's a good hot take. Something I find. Yeah.
Sorry. No, sorry. I feel like this is a lot to do with kind of like your favorite character, Kevin James and Mall Cop. I feel like this was very Mall Cop energy. These guys, you know, they were definitely thinking they were cooler than what they were. It's 6:30 in the morning, just trying to guide a golf crowd. This wasn't fucking a Metallica concert on a Friday. No. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was just so unreal just watching what was going on. Yes, I'm glad that they got if I was him, and where did he end up and finishing? Do you remember?
Second, right?
Second? Was it second? I would still be suing.
Right now he's ranked second, right?
I would be suing for whatever I felt like I was going to win that tournament. So you got to give me the extra whatever differences in price.
Yeah, I mean that's we all know that's like huge in his spread and his, you know, his salary and I
think everybody has a crazy morning prep, you know, but really, they were talking about his, like, he goes 3-4 hours early. He does like all this weird shit. And, you know, I think this was, you know, he got lucky with the rain delay and stuff, but just what a
it's unfortunate. You know, I'm glad again, that video it's good because it shows that he was telling the truth. I think this is not really that interesting, but I'll talk about it. Bronny James is staying in the draft class. We talked about this a little earlier. I don't think it's a smart move because he's 19 and not great. But So where's LeBron gonna go, everyone? Where are we thinking?
Yeah, I think this is just set up to have them both play in LA, and
Yeah.
I don't even know how LeBron can justify it. He's like Bronny's so not ready for it that I like he's got, LeBron's the coach of many of his teams. Is he really going to put his kid out there over experienced players just so he could say he played with them his last couple of years? I don't know. I love it. I love the storyline. Like, give it to me. I'll be disappointed if it doesn't happen. If Bronny James just goes undrafted and like signs with a shitty team or plays D League or whatever, I'll be disappointed. I want to see them play together for sure. I want to see the shit show.
Airbud versus Bronny James. That's the next. That's the next move. I think that could be just dunks on Bronny.
Yeah, I almost feel a little bit bad for him, and there's these unrealistic expectations that are put on him just because of who his dad is, right? It's like if Michael Jordan's son, I did never really amount to even this in basketball, right? So it's I wonder if maybe they're going to try to go back to Cleveland or something and try to do that, right? They were seen watching one of the Cavs playoffs games, and of course could just be because his hometown is Akron and he's still pretty close there and maybe still spend some time there. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see a move from LA. And it doesn't seem like they have the best relationship right now, him and the team. So
yeah, good point. This is the grossest story, but also funny. So there's this woman named Hayden Hopkins. She's a 26-year-old, and there's a rumor. So she was pregnant, right? She's like a dancer, and people were like, "Oh, she's having Raiders owner Mark Davis's baby," which ew. And it turns out she's actually having Joey Gallo, who is a player for the Washington Nationals. Child, which is such a juxtaposition, like a baseball player who's like super talented and good looking, and Mark Davis, who has bangs. And
wasn't Joey Gallo the attorney in My Cousin Vinny that helped Vinny? Joey Gallo.
So I like to do that, like what celebrity has dated like what person. There's you can do that website, just a Google search, and I looked up like who has dated Mark Davis, and it like multiple things said we have no records of past relationships for Mark Davis, which makes sense. What's your have you guys heard about that story, and why is Mark Davis so uncomfortable to look at?
I mean, I have heard about the story. I think it's also interesting from the lens of that Dov Kleiman guy getting kind of exposed, right, for running with that story. Apparently, somebody purchased that account, which is just basically now like an aggregator account that's just trying to do the what is it called, engagement farming for interactions on X now. So it's an interesting story. My question, or what I'm thinking of, is who would you have to be pictured with that you would come out like, so this woman had not posted on like Instagram or Twitter in like years. And then like the moment this rumor comes out, she immediately like logs back into her social media, is like, nope. Like who would you have to be seen in a picture with to just rush to all your socials to be like, yeah, that never happened. I did not have any, this is not this person's child.
That's a great point. She was like, forgot password. She like looked up her old college email address, and she's like, yeah, I wonder, I don't know much about him because it's just so hard to look him up. Is he better looking in real life? Like, he has that haircut. I used to work for a guy that had like, he used that, when you would get your hair checked for lice in like middle school, he like had one of those combs. It might be the only one that was poor. Okay. You're like, what are you talking about? My school, we washed our hair. But he just has like the I don't know. I hope he's so happy, and I mean, I know he probably has a lot of money, but then like, is he sad now because like he was like, oh my gosh, this 26-year-old beautiful talented woman is linked up with me, and nope. I mean, that's so sad. Anyway, Louis, what's your take on single men that are have a lot of girlfriends than they are?
They should That's just my dating story. I've been breaking my heart right now. My daughter just came downstairs and was like, I want you to come snuggle with me. Are you serious? Like, who sent her? Who sent her? Ellie, are you trying to cut this podcast short? Because I'm like breaking right now.
I am tired. No, did you have to tell her no? And then did you say, get your bed? Did you say it real mean?
Yeah, I was like, get your ass to bed. I think I hear her still crying.
Oh.
But, she's fine. She's got plenty of TVs up there.
Do you need to put it on pause? Because we can also talk about face tattoos because Derek Rose got a new face tattoo that says privilege and knowledge. So, whoops.
Wait, Derek Rose got these?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing up? I didn't even know Derek Rose was still in the league, but he is. Is he on the Knicks there?
Grizzlies. He's on the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
I thought he was done.
No.
I knew he was still playing as of last year, but he's like 40.
He's like, yeah. Well, I also want Allen Iverson to come back. Like, I still think that guy could still play.
I love how he has like a last name that would be actually like suitable for a face tattoo. He could get a Rose on there, but he's like, no, I'm just going to do knowledge. And what was the other one?
It's privilege, and underneath it's knowledge. Yeah.
Privilege and knowledge.
Have I told you guys I want to get my first tattoo? Have I mentioned this yet?
You did. And when people describe a tattoo they're going to get, and then you're like you just start falling asleep. Yeah,
is that what you guys did? I'm scared of getting one, so I don't want to commit to a sleeve. But I also think just doing like one small one is like, what kind of pussy am I then? So
only if you get a wrist tattoo, then they're a pussy.
Okay, but what if I get a small one? Hate it, and then I never get one ever again, and here I am just everyone's like, that's it, you just got this flower? What's going on here, dude?
I'm picturing you getting one of those barbed wire ones around your bicep. That's what I need you to get.
Just like it's like the worst barbed wire ever though, because my arms are so flabby. It's like, okay, I can't do it.
It's like a zip tie. It's like a zip tie around your Get it. Now I'm all like, go get it. Just I didn't do it. You only live 3 times. All right, Louis, I know you had some pretty big Dynasty trades recently. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, I want to talk about a few that I've had here over the last week. Get Ryan's opinion on a couple of them, and just kind of show our listeners what kind of value I'm looking for here. The first one, let's see. Sorry, as I'm trying to pull these up. First one's gonna be. Sorry, I just traded, and I'll bring up this one as I talk about it. But I just traded 2-6 for Zamir White in a 14-team league. Start with your initial thoughts on that, Ryan. But then I want to bring up kind of where the draft happened and kind of why I did it. But go ahead on just your first in a vacuum thoughts on 2-6 for Zamir White.
My in a vacuum thoughts are, for a contending team, I could see why you would want to potentially get the volume that Zamir White is expected to get this year, given the backfield outlook in Las Vegas. I'm typically, and just as a general rule of thumb, I'm very hesitant to trade. I would, higher end assets, first and second round picks for running backs, just because of the depreciating nature of the asset itself, especially one. What is he, 25 at this point? Mm-hmm. So you have maybe 1 to 2 years on that. And at 2-6, I don't know who was available, but I would even just take Marshawn Lloyd straight up, and you probably could have gotten him right there over Zamir.
So this is a cereal league, as you see from these names. I'm Wheaties, as you see in the red. I will show you, this is the draft. I got Benson a little bit earlier, Ladd McConkey. And then I was up at 211 here, and I needed a running back bad, another one besides.
Wait, I thought you were at 206.
So this is a double copy. So 211 is technically 206.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Double
Yep.
copy here. So you see this pick traded from the Wheaties. This was the pick that I was up on the clock for. And basically what I've been doing when I need a position that's not readily available in these leagues where I go up in the second or third. If I miss out, we're talking two tight end premium leagues here. So just you see Sanders is gone early too. Obviously, Sano is gone. So like if I'm here and need a running back or a tight end and I don't have it, I'll just go and look for a list of guys that I would go in the system. And I picked I think it was like White, Najee Harris. I just went in the chat and said, here's 5 guys that I would take. Javonte Williams, Najee, Pollard, Zamir White, Joe Mixon. I said, if anybody sends me one of them for this pick, they have it. I didn't want another wide receiver. I don't want to. This is a win now team, so I don't want to guess on Corum or Jalen Wright or whoever that guy is. Marshawn Lloyd really to me is the one that I'm drafting when I need somebody for this year. So I just didn't love just piling on there and getting another wide receiver, although I'm a big Xavier Legette guy, as we all know. But I just I thought that was decent value and was glad to take it because of the win now aspect. So
I see the strategy of it for sure. I think that when you're looking at the value of the pick versus, let's say, an established player like Zamir White, when you decide to hold that pick and take somebody like Corum or Marshawn Lloyd, in most cases, unless they have like a Tank Bigsby year, you're going to retain a good amount of that value. So my move in that situation is to take the rookie and then let the camp buzz build. Hopefully you get some of that, and then maybe you're getting a third paired with Zamir, closer to the season start. So I think the timing of that move is always important too. But at face value, I don't hate the value. I think I would have just kept the pick.
Here is my Saturday Night Live league. I am the ladies' man in this, Allie. Don't you think that kind of fits, right? You remember Tim Meadows, ladies' man, and knowing what you know about me, that makes a lot of sense that I picked that, right? And this one, I traded Mason Rudolph and Dalton Schultz. I'm a big Schultz guy. I traded away for Zach Wilson and the 2-7. So basically we're talking Mason Rudolph for Zach Wilson, which I think why I brought this trade up here to you today is I think Zach Wilson's starting 6 to 8 games this year. Like, I don't know if Nix is going to be ready week 1. I don't know if he's going to be good enough to hold the job. Like, I could see Zach Wilson starting some games. And not that Rudolph can't if Levis gets hurt or whatever, but I have a lot more confidence in Levis than I do Nix. So I feel like that was a small win. And this is not a win now team. And to me, if you're a win now team, there is some value in Dalton Schultz still this year, but man, is it going to fall off a cliff after they just signed Nico. They're going to probably have Diggs for one more year. Tank is still there. They got 2 decent running backs. They drafted Stover in the 3rd round. So like, I thought 2-7 was a great get for him there. I guess I'm asking you, what do you think?
I think that I like the trade, but not for the reasons that you're bringing up. I think I like the trade not for the Wilson or Rudolph. I think both of those players are roster cloggers in most situations that can likely be dropped. I don't see the upside of either of them, if even with an injury to the starter, which I predict it's going to be Bo Nix. I think they had a reason for that pick. They're going to get him ready, and I think they're going to just start fresh and only turn to Wilson in an emergency, but I do love the value of Schultz for 207. I would do that. I'd probably take 3, an early third for Schultz in most leagues. I'm with
we
you.
do have to remind people that this is the start 2 tight end and tight end premium, and so
Sure.
I don't want to. I want to remind people of that because it obviously adds a lot of value to the tight end position. But yeah, I think I think for 1 year, here's my whole thing. If you're not winning this year, and even if guys have value to you, that could get you some points, there's a double advantage for taking a little bit less value than you think you can get. I mean, one, you're losing points too, right? Like you don't want to carry points that are not going to help you tank if you're keeping them. So I like to do it early. I like to get rid of it. I don't want to be holding these type of guys in mid-season and getting them. What am I getting for them mid-season? A third, maybe, like you said. So was happy with that. And I'm real happy with the second round this year too. Like I don't like next year's draft. So get me in the second round this year rather than even if it was the 25 second, it wouldn't feel the same way. Here's the next one. The hateful 28. This league is villains in movies. I picked Seth Gecko from what is he from? The movie where what's her face gets naked.
Wall Street, Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
Sharon Stone.
No. Wait,
Douglas?
who's Seth Gecko? Hold on. I think I'm mixing this up. No, it's the dude from
If only there was a device.
From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn. There you go. George Clooney's character and from Dusk Till Dawn. And what's her face? Clooney?
I don't know.
You're so crazy. Anyways, great movie, underrated, and what's her face shows her boobs, which is the best. What is her name? The Puerto Rican girl.
I feel like this is gonna be offensive. Whatever you say, and also
I know.
Also,
really Penelope Cruz, maybe.
Well, Penelope Cruz is not
Selma Hayek. Selma
Hayek is not Puerto Rican, so I still don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's definitely her, but that's even more offensive. So whatever. Here's the trade, Ryan. Man, I tried so hard not to be offensive today, and look at what it goes. All right, I received Romeo Dubs. Sorry, Romeo Dubs and Mike Gesicki for Najee Harris and Javon Baker in a 14 team. It's a 14 team. Listen, before you say anything, let me just. I kind of love Gesicki this year. I mean, he's going from nothing. He's by far the best tight end, the best catching tight end Joe Burrow has had in his career. I don't know. Am I stupid to think that's a great steal for that?
First of all, I just have to comment. I just think it's hilarious that Lou's like sharing his screen. We're just showing the home page of each of these leagues, like not even like what the trades are. Like here's our logo.
No, sorry. Well, because I want to show Allie how cool I am with my.
It's so.
Is it working? Is it working?
Your Tarantino background is very cool, Lou. Very.
All right. So the deal.
Wow.
All right, so it's Dubs. You get Dubs and Gesicki for Harris and
there it is, right at the top there. I'm showing you it now.
So I don't know if I'm gonna go 0 for 3 on these reviews here, but I'm not as big on Gesicki. Let me say this as a disclaimer. I'm in one of these start 2 tight end premium leagues with 2 copies, and I'm getting absolutely owned at the tight end position. So maybe I'm not the guy to talk about, these types of deals because I clearly have not figured out how to get a good salvageable tight end of my roster after screwing up the initial draft and not taking that position. However, I think the dart throw of Javon Baker plus the combination of Najee, who probably has, I would say, 2 years or maybe 3 of RB2 to 3 production. I think I'd probably rather have that over Gesicki, who could be, has really not caught on in any of his spots yet. And Romeo Dubs, who's in an offense that we've talked about a lot, that likely is going to, the targets are going to be spread out among a lot of different players, I think. So I think I'm on the Baker Harris side, but again, I suck at figuring out how to get tight end problem solved in dynasty trades.
I'm 100% Baker over Polk, by the way. Like, not, I would never probably take him before it just because of how ADP is, but I'm taking Baker where he is over where Polk is going all day. They're about a round difference, and I just don't see the justification. I think Baker's better. Do you see this lineup that I'm showing you now? This is Cooperstown. This I'm Mike Piazza. This is all MLB Hall of Famers. I'm a big Mets fan. So real quick, because I'm on the clock here and I wanted to ask your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I have whatever suitable. I'll have one of the Raiders quarterbacks, Purdy, and hopefully Russell Wilson for half the year, whatever. But I'll have 2 starting quarterbacks for most of the year. They're not great, but if I want to compete, which I think I can, running backs are great, right? Like I have Cook, Derrick Henry, Swift, Jonathan Taylor, and Rachaad White. So I'm not even going to be able to start all those guys each week. So that's obviously something where I'll be trading from once draft season's over. But right now, I just can't see myself drafting one. And then wide receivers, a little bit weak, but good. Tank Dell, T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins has a really big bounce back year. Cooper Kupp, JSN, Rashee Rice. We don't know what he is. And then tight ends, I have Kittle and Andrews, so my 2 starters. So really, I'm strong all the way through, right? So this is about where do I want to just get best player available because I'm strong through? Probably wide receiver is where I would want to attack most for need. This is the board where it's at. Again, 2 copies. So you see Caleb, Bowers, Caleb. But after Bo Nix would have been my guy here, I think, if he just didn't get sniped right before me. I don't love my quarterback room, so I think he would have been it. Penix makes a little bit of sense, right, for that team because there's not long-term answers at my quarterback position. He might be able to get in there. I just still feel like this is a little bit early for Penix. I love Jonathan Brooks, but again, I don't need a running back. I did have an offer from somebody that wants to come up, and I'm going to just bring up their team to see what you think would be a good offer. But let's just go with who do you think you would pick right now if I was forced to pick while I'm pulling this guy up?
The one that stands out is Brooks, despite the lack of team need. I totally get that. So maybe trading that and moving back a few spots to get a receiver. I don't know what this person has as far as draft capital, but then I think it makes probably a lot of sense to consider. He has 212.
Yeah, can you see to the right? I don't think I'm asking for too much for. Well, again, remember, just cut this in half, right? So I'm 112, and then he's got 2.6 and 2.7, essentially 2.8. I don't think I'm off by asking for 2 of those picks for 112, correct? I mean, that's probably
that's easily the start to me, because you're arguably tearing down. You still have Xavier Worthy available, and to you on the clock, you still have Keon Coleman, who I'm high on, obviously. And
wait, was Coleman on there? I thought Coleman was gone, but no, you're right. He was available.
He's
so
available.
Coleman would fit on this team. So would Worthy. I think I'm going to ask for 212, 216, and maybe like a late round. This is hold on, I want to double check. This is not a best ball. One thing I wanted to bring up during the segment really quick before Allie falls asleep was that one thing I have been doing is in best balls, like if I can turn a 3 into 2 4s or 3 4s or buy a 4th with next year's 4th and just keep doing that every year or whatever, I'm doing it. Like, you never know the next Puka, and especially in best ball, you just kind of want all the darts you can. I'm seeing so many people like get into the 4th round this year and be like, just skip me, I don't have the spots. And I'm like, no, I will buy those for a 4th next year. I just want to get into the draft more and just take my dart throws. So if this was best ball, I would probably be asking for a couple 2s and a couple 4s. I don't need it as much. I think I'm going to go 212, 216, and 4-1. What do you think about
can I suggest one thing before you do that? I wouldn't even hesitate. So in an ideal situation, you might get all 3 of those his next 3 picks, and you give him 124 and 224. So you're moving up slightly. I like the idea of trying to get up just very slightly in that mid-second round, because there are usually, especially in a 2 copy, there might be a couple players that you're not going to have access to at the end of the second. And I still think that's fair value for both sides. So it'd be 124 and 224 for 212, 213, and 216.
The only thing I don't love about that is in the 2 copy leagues, I don't love being clumped together, because you lose a little bit of leverage if say the board evens out to where there's just, when I get up to 212, there's no copies to, I guess it can't be. There will at least be one copy thing. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not explaining it perfectly, but
I know what you mean. You mean that if you control the board, there may be less action, and you won't have as many opportunities to recoup the value or to move back, so on and so forth. But what I'm saying is I think you want to hop into that mid-second tier of, if you don't take, especially if you could potentially get Penix, with one of those second picks, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, but
no, I mean, especially in a 12 team, this is a 12 team, I believe. So, they lose a little bit of value, although I'm surprised the Knicks went as early as he did too. So
just a quick note though, I am a big fan of Penix and taking him in these drafts. I think he's been severely undervalued. And so I understand the logic completely, especially with who you have at quarterback. You can afford to plug in Purdy.
I think he fits.
Yeah, he does. You have the pieces. And I'm so surprised though, with all these dynasty trades, we didn't even talk about the one that we recently made.
Go ahead.
I have it pulled up. This was last week, 8 days ago. I'm looking at it in the chat. So I'll just give you the 2 sides, and Allie's going to be the who's going to help determine this. So, so one side is Nico Collins and Bryce Young, and the other side is Josh Downs, 203, which was Brian Thomas Jr., and a 2025 first round pick.
Are you picking Nico? Did you want Nico?
I sold Nico to Louis.
Yeah, I bought Nico.
That's a smart pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Louis is on team, or Allie's on team.
I'm on team Louis. Yeah, I feel like that's a good pick.
I'm a bad team there. So that first for next year might be pretty high.
I think that's a great trade.
I loved getting Nico. It obviously helped with him getting signed 2 days later, kind of boosted that value up a little bit, made me feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I love Bryce Young, and I bought him somewhere else from you this year for 1.9 in a super flex. I'm buying Young. Again, maybe that's wrong, but I know I gotta stop. No, that's fine. You're right. All right, let's move on to rookie categories, because
so we're gonna do a fun little game of categories where a topic will be on one side and a player will be on the other. Combined, the contestants Louis and Ryan will have to think of something fun and interesting about it. For example, the color red and then a dog.
Wait, no. For example, Josh Allen and a color. That's a better example.
Okay, we get it.
You've played categories before, right?
Yes, this is why I'm not asked to hang out with these guys at like 11 p.m. because I'm on shutdown mode. I'm like,
it's because we play categories and we're so tired of explaining the rules to Allie.
That's it. That's all we do every time we hang out is play categories, and she's I don't get it.
And 9 games of pool, you would also pretend to not understand, to not get invited back.
Jesus, it's not euchre. It's not that hard to understand.
All right, let's blow through this though, so we can get to our draft. So
Louis drafts them young. Go on. Let's show us the board, and we will spin.
No, we're not spinning. You are going to give us. You have the. There's no spinning today. You are going to pick. You have the categories and the players, and then you're gonna just be like, "Hey, this dude, do this." Say, Louis, you have this guy in this category.
Okay.
Or Brian, you have.
Would anyone like to go first? Ryan, would you like to go first?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll go first.
Ryan go first.
All right. Let's make this goofy. Let's go. Speaking of Josh Allen, let's go ice cream flavors and Lad McConkey.
Oh, man. Well, Lad is not one of my favorites in this pre-draft process. He's just another white slot receiver to me, and I just have almost no interest in those players. I think he's going to be a useful real life player, but I'm not really interested in him in fantasy. So I guess for a flavor, he has to be vanilla. Okay. But vanilla is very good. I like vanilla ice cream. I mean, who doesn't, right? This is like he's got to be like the oat milk, like sugar-free version of vanilla ice cream. That, like, I'm like, yeah, it's like, why even eat ice cream? Just don't even. Right. Yeah. You just, That's it's just the vanilla ice cream that is always left in your freezer and just stays there for like 18 months until you throw it out. So
I love it. I also think it'd be a funny nickname to have in high school as white slot receiver. That sounds like slut shaming. So
also known as Julian Edelman.
Yes. Very, very good, Ryan. Next up, we'll give Lou. Would you like one?
Yeah.
How about since white slot receiver, let's talk about things you shouldn't touch, and let's go Ben Sinnott.
I don't. Is it? I still don't know. I've said Sinnott. I've said Sano. Does anybody have Ryan? Do you know for sure? I got to get it down. He's one of my favorite players. So I'll say things you shouldn't touch. Ben Sinnott. Give him fire, baby, because that dude is going to blow up. I am on the Snow train or the Sinnott train, whatever he wants to be. I'm here for it. And I mean, I'm buying him in these two tight end leagues all over the place. I'm very good in these leagues, so I have a lot of late first rounders, and he's falling there, and he will not fall much later than 1-8, 1-9, 1-10 if I'm in that area. I just think he has all the opportunity in the world. Like, the targets there are, I mean, who's the number 2 guy there? Is it going to be him or is it going to be Dotson? Like, who can you name the number 3 wide receiver there? It's like McCaffrey's little brother. Like, I'm okay with Sano right now. So no, I fire. You can't touch fire. You can't touch Ben Sano unless you're Louis G in every draft that you're doing. So I like that one.
I respect it. And I'm also gonna echo and say Sano is probably the proper way to say it. So. Very French. Let's go back to Ryan, and we're gonna do a type of weather and Blake Corum.
Oh, Michigan guy. So all right, so Blake Corum, he's like he's kind of a littler guy, right? He's a smaller running back. And the situation in LA, I don't know, to me it's like there's like this impending storm, right? So I think if I had to compare Blake Corum to weather, he's like that light rain that's just like persistent enough to be annoying.
I'm sorry.
What?
He said on your wedding day. I'm sorry.
It's like
get in the car.
Yeah, no, he's just, it's like that very, very light rain, but you're aware that it's there, and it's just annoying the hell out of you. I think that's what he's going to be for Kyren Williams this year. I think because he's healthy, at least at the moment, and he's getting the reps, unlike Kyren Williams and in OTAs, that he's just going to start chipping away, and then at some point it just starts, pouring, and that's going to be Blake Corum's coming out party. So good, he's coming. I'm telling you, it's on its way.
A gentle yet forceful rain. I love that. Very thoughtful. Let's go. Speaking of thoughtful, Louis, let's go cartoon characters and JJ McCarthy.
I'm sorry I keep playing with my nose. I know it's weird. I scratched the inside of my nose, and it like I know that what that sounds like I might have been picking up. I don't know how I did it. I don't want to sound gross. I guess there's only one way to do that, probably picking some, but it hurts really bad. Like my nose has not hurt this bad since the inside of my nose has not hurt this bad since like college. So it's on a college Saturday night. It's been a while, but it really, really hurts. I don't know what I did.
I didn't notice it. Now I feel like I'm just
I just like close to tears, like the worst pain that I've felt in a really long time. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I'm gonna go with JJ McCarthy, cartoon character. I'm embarrassed with I knew what our options would be and what the categories and players would be, but didn't know. I'm embarrassed about how much time I spent on this for JJ McCarthy. If I linked up with cartoon characters, and I still don't love it, but I'm going to go with Scrappy Doo because he showed up. He didn't really do anything or add anything. And then before you knew, he was gone. No one even knew where he went. He was gone for 20. He hasn't been around since 88. Do you know that? He was on 5 years of episodes. He came in. He didn't he wasn't hot like Daphne and the other one. Wasn't a nerd like the one. What?
He was a baby. He was a puppy.
Add something. He didn't even he was a baby. He didn't even fight. He wasn't funny. It wasn't nothing. And then he was just gone. JJ McCarthy is going to suck. I've already told you guys Sam Darnold's going to win that job and he's going to energize his career. And JJ McCarthy is never going to be anything in this league. And I am going to be very ecstatic when I can stand on this hill or delete all these and disappear like Scrappy Doo.
Well, I like that. Maybe I'm going to be optimistic. Scrappy Doo didn't just disappear. He got adopted. And then that could mean that JJ will be traded. Is that, maybe?
They're okay. So I read some Scooby-Doo conspiracy theories today.
That's why your nose hurts. I'm just going to
let Aaron Rodgers corner. And some people believe in one episode he mentioned that his mom's in New York, and so some people believe that he went back to his mom in New York. I want a VH1. Where is he now? Give it to me. He's just a crackhead. He's on the streets of New York struggling. His hair is all dangling.
Oh, he just wants his mom.
He's in a pound. Just.
Oh.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go to the next one.
I just want you guys to see my dog sleeping right there. Thinking about their mom in New York City. Wait. Okay. Okay. Now that I'm sad inside for some reason for a fictional dog. Okay. Since that story killed me, Ryan, what about things that can kill you? And Michael Penix Jr.
Okay, so I think I'm with Michael Penix. This is what I'm picturing. It's one of those rooms in a horror movie like Saw, right? And inside the room is a Kohl's employee that's trapped, and the room just keeps closing, and it has it's gonna squish him alive, and it's gonna take a while, but it's eventually just gonna literally just crush him, and he knows it's coming. He can't stop it. There's no coupon that stops the machine, and he is eventually crushed by Michael Penix Jr. So that's what's going to happen to Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, I think.
Oh,
I want to be on board with Penix. It's just such a weird thing. I still can't get over it. But you're right. In a situation like this, if this dude doesn't take this trade, I'm picking Penix Jr. now. I think I'm there. But anyways, I like that. That's good. Go ahead, Elliot. Sorry.
Oh, nice Kohl's reference. Kohl's, if you're listening, we do have spots available for sponsorships. So
it's 2 weeks in a row we've mentioned them.
Oh, and now what 42 of Kevin
Yeah. Kevin
what's his
James.
name? Kevin James. Oh, make it twice in one episode. Okay, Louis, let's close it out with things that are sticky and Ray Davis.
So I'll make this really quick. I'm gonna go with gum here for Ray Davis. And only because I think it's, he's super, he looks good, tastes good right now. Everybody's kind of feeling it and likes the position, and that he went to Buffalo. I just think he's going to be gross in a few weeks. I don't love anything about the pick. We've, me and Ryan, we've kind of talked about this plenty of times. He has too much of the same skill set as Cook. I hate McDermott with rookie running backs. I think expecting anything from him immediately is crazy. I think that eventually in 2 years or whatever, like kind of how the Singletary and Cook thing happened, maybe he could be in the Cook role and then they find a thunder to his lightning. But I mean, the guy does not, he doesn't accent Cook at all. He can't run in between the tackles. I watched literally every one of his snaps in the last few weeks, his college snaps, and he just can't run in between the tackles. I don't understand the pick, really. Outside of a Cook injury, I don't see him being productive this year. And even with a Cook injury, like, can't you just see McDermott like playing Ty Johnson? In a 50-50 splitter. I don't know. I'm buying him because in that second round, I'm trying to diversify as much because I just think it's like this really ugly tier of players that it's going to be a lot of luck and stuff like that. So I want to have some of them, but man, am I not optimistic. So
he doesn't even sound like the Fruit Stripes gum that's good for like 30 seconds, and then it's terrible.
Just continue.
He's not even that.
Oh,
he's
is
not
it?
even that. He's man. What is it? No, the fruit stripe gum is probably him. That was the worst, right? That was the worst gum. There's not a worse.
It was good for like the first 10 seconds, though. That was great. You were getting all the sugar and stuff, and then it's
what's
gone.
the big league chew, man? What I would do for some big league chew right now. He's not good enough to be considered big league chew. I don't know why I just thought about that.
Wow, I feel now bad for Ray as I did for Scrappy Doo.
They are the same height. They do have the same measurables.
Okay. Yeah, you can see both in the same room too, right? We're going to talk about that. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers conspiracy theories, shall we move on to our big fun draft of the evening?
Yes.
Our guilty pleasures draft. Any fun reason why we picked it this week, Louis?
I was worried that it came to my head so early, and it was like, oh, this is great. And then I was so worried I had to go through all of the episodes, even the Kyle episodes, to make sure we haven't done it yet. We have not. No, I mean, maybe there's a couple stories I'm going to tell you guys off the air from my recent vacation that might link this up a little bit, but no, I think this is fun, and we all have our guilty pleasures, and maybe I just want to know more about you, Allie. Maybe that's why. I think our listeners are clamoring for your guilty pleasures.
I feel like no one cares, but I appreciate that pump up. All right, so let's roll the fake wheel again. That is not really a wheel to pick a
I have that one. That one. I don't have the other one.
Listener, I'm sorry about that earlier flub.
And that's another feedback I got. And this is my fault too, but they're like that. There's this one dude that just listens. I love him because he listens to every episode. He always hits us with feedback and email or Twitter or whatever. So I appreciate it because it's always good. But he's like, you guys got to remember that some of us just have kids and we're listening, and we don't describe so much what's going on the screen. So I don't
thank you for listening. Saying that, I will moving forward. You actually win this week because Louis did not do anything special with the wheel, and
but he is missing my new cool glasses. He's not seeing those.
Yes, it's very Dame Edna. If you're listening right now, they're cool. They're almost like
They're flower.
oh,
They're
that's fun.
very
I thought they were
no, they're flower. They're
from
flowers.
my spectacles. They looked like from afar, like the same color as Jafar when he turned into a snake in Aladdin. That's the best way I would describe it. But up close, they are definitely glasses. So
Yeah, they're flowers, and I'm just getting in touch with my feminine side, Ellie. I don't think
don't
that
even
was
yeah.
really nice of you to. Okay, I got the,
Far glass.
number one pick is Allie. You got that. Number 2, Louie, and 3, Ryan. I don't know if you guys saw. I caught up on some drafts today. I got some more coming up. I'm currently winning the last one. I don't want to brag about it, but here is my promise to you. Is by next week I will have the whole summer. I already have reached out to 3 or 4 people that have confirmed. I will have the whole summer booked, and by next week, I will have every single draft on Twitter up to date to the current times. Those are my 2 promises to you guys. Wow. You can hold me to them. But that's my goal by next Wednesday is to have our whole season booked with great guests. I already have a few locked down.
I love how quickly it went from a promise to a goal. It was
That's all. My promises are all goals.
Also, thank you to Louie's doctor for prescribing him Ritalin. So thank you so much.
Wait a second. Can I tell you something?
Did you just get re-up?
I didn't want to bring this up. Really in my head, but this is now it's like, oh, this was a sign. Okay. And I know we're running late. I'll make it quick. But speaking of whenever I'm like, should I mention it? Yes, that's not helping this story at all. So where do I want to start with it? Okay. On vacation.
The white spot receiver. Oh, go on.
On vacation, let me say this. I realized I'm 40. And I don't know what.
Okay.
There was a couple. This is very embarrassing, but I feel like I need to speak to my fellow man and openly so men can speak about this. But there was a couple missed opportunities, one would say, and missed opportunities where I blamed it on drinking too much. Are you getting my vibe now? Well, then there was a day that I stayed sober. And the opportunity was missed again. And I go, man, I'm old. Now, remember, I just came out of a sexless marriage for a year. So I was like, oh, man, maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I need to call a doctor. And my current situation's a nurse. And she was like, no, you better call a doctor or I'm not sticking around. So I got this. Hims and hers, got the whole deal. Doctor said to do this. 2 really funny things about this, and we'll go on. First thing is my ex-wife still has contact or has my connection or has a connection with my bank account. So she gives me a call, was like, what did you order from Hims and Hers? And I had to explain to her, I go, I don't know if you like, I just, I have low sexual drive lately. And she goes, I know, I've been around for a couple of years. Like, so she had to, so that I had to explain to her why I was getting this stuff. But then another thing, I'll just tell guys that are uncomfortable, magic, guys. Like today I was wearing shorts and like just a really strong, like breeze just came up my shorts and I was like good for like 2 hours. So I'm just here to tell men to deal with whatever they don't be embarrassed, go out and live your best lives. And
amazing. To that one listener that is only an audio listener. Once again, we will
no one needed that visual for that. I didn't pull it out. No one had to. It's not hurting anybody.
Are you wearing gym shorts to work? That's my first question.
Yeah, quite often. A little too much. I threw out all my basketball shorts, but I do wear some. Actually, it might be one of my guilty pleasures. So I'll shut up. All right, go ahead. That was the story.
I'm already calling it. It's gonna be socks and sandals. I already know that's his guilty.
No, it's not. I don't do that. Go on.
Just so everyone can learn about me, my first draft pick.
Do you have any embarrassing medication you've been taking first and foremost?
Yeah, not to brag, but this bitch is on Lipitor. What's up, hereditary high cholesterol?
All right. All right. Go.
Okay.
We lasted 58 minutes now, going off the rails.
And I like to. My number one pick is Dateline. I'm obsessed with crime. I love solving murders. Thus the Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Doo heartbreak. Dateline, long live Dateline, long live Keith Morrison and Josh Mankiewicz, who follows me on X, by the way. That's how much of a Dateline person I am. All right.
That's good. Mine, just because I'm so scared of Allie taking it eventually that I want to get it out of the way. I love looking up drama on social media, especially when I'm not involved. Like if it's somebody from my grammar school, I'm like, and it just is like a little bit of hint of like, what's going on here? I will fucking search their ex's fucking aunt's cousin until I find out exactly what happened. I'll start sending DMs. I don't care. I want to know. So looking up drama on social media is like one of my favorite things, and it's definitely a guilty pleasure. So I'm gonna go with that.
All right, so my first of two picks, my first overall pick is going to be getting candles and other unnecessary things in the checkout line of TJ Maxx or Marshalls. That stuff gets me every single time. Like I'm just walking through there, I don't need this bag of kettle corn, but it's right here, and I could just add it to, and there you go. So. I figured that seems like I'm kind of alone in that guilty pleasure.
No,
here. I'm not really okay.
I think it's
Nobody
appropriate.
else like candles. Okay, moving on.
No, I love it. No, I think that's good. No, I think that's really good. I'm sorry.
Second pick is okay. We have lots.
Huge fan.
Yes, you really are missing the full experience if you're not watching this live. But my next pick is anytime the weather gets nice out, my first instinct or the first thought that goes through my mind is Dairy Queen, or ice cream. I need to go get ice cream in the summer at all times, as soon as it turns nice out. So I'm just going to say Dairy Queen in the summer is the pick.
Respect.
That's a good one. Literally Dairy Queen or ice cream or whatever was going to be one of them. But yeah, I like that. All right. Next one. Flash mob proposals. I can start. I'm telling you, I can start at 9:30 and go on YouTube and be like, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna watch one of these, and then at 3:00 in the morning, I am just bawling, crying on my 15th. If I ever get married again, I just hope to God the girl proposes to me, 1, and 2, it's with a flash mob proposal. That's all I want in life. That's all I want. In fact, it doesn't even need to be a proposal. I just want to be part of a flash mob. I want it to be unique. I don't want to know about it. I just want somebody to do it and be like, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm going to dance.
So we just have to get a time machine to go back to 2012 when these were actually going on. Are they still happening? Are people still doing flash mobs?
Flash mob proposals literally make me dry. They are so repulsive. I can't even. Well, I'm like.
Well, you know what? Oh. I'm not gonna. Now I'm never proposing to you, Ellie.
That's no.
You just ruined that one for you, because the next person I marry, it's gonna be a flash mob.
So then I'm next. Do I do this or do I not? Do I make one seem more sad than what you just did? Okay, so you ever see those videos that are the cute? Do I do that one or do I do the other one? Yeah, let's do this one. Just because Louis is so stupid, I love when you see babies that don't hear and then they put the new hearing aid on and then they hear it and then they're so happy and it's I'm going to say that's way better than a flash mob wedding proposal.
It would have been so funny if you're You ever like see the babies and they can't hear, and then they just like walk into traffic and get smacked by a car? Look at that. I was like, I thought
Those
that's where you were going.
No.
I didn't know where you're
No,
going.
you're
No,
right.
those are,
like it
and I
kind of
hope
lost
no one
one of
else.
those.
I don't think I'm stealing anybody else's, but like that, and what about like soldiers coming home?
The
Those two.
surprise ones.
Oh my
I know.
god.
It's
I
it's
can,
a waterworks. Yeah.
Or when you combine that with the dog being reunited with the soldier, I mean, that's like the pinnacle of all of them. Like the dog can't
Can I
even
give you a
control
candle
himself.
right now, Ryan? Like, I know. Oh my gosh.
what if all the soldiers come back to a flash mob
Of dogs.
Okay, go on.
Isn't that Sound of Music? Isn't that something like isn't there like a musical?
What's-
A Music Man? I don't know.
What's
And
your
then I guess I'm gonna go my this is my favorite guilty pleasure of all time. I did it later because I just thought someone would take Dateline. Crunchy leaves. I love finding one. I love stepping on it. That like it is. I will go out of my way. As a vegetarian, I don't have many like carnivore instincts, but like hearing the destruction of just a beautiful leaf that's dehydrated and just
Okay.
there is. I'm alone on that one, I guess too. Okay.
No, that is actually kind of cool. I don't know if I would ever say that I have like gone and seeked it out, but
Sure.
all right. I'm gonna go here, and I got a few that I really love, but I don't give a shit if it's white, wheat, rye. I don't give a just all the bread. Any kind of bread. I can go. I legit got cried. Red Lobster's horrible. I got upset when they closed. Not because the bread. I can go there. Everything about bread. I can eat bread if it wasn't so bad for you, and I still don't care. But if it wasn't so bad for you, I would never have to eat another thing. I would just eat bread all day. Swear to God. If it if it didn't, take all of your energy. I could eat bread all day and not every day. It's my favorite thing in the world, and that's it.
I love
That's
that.
why I'm this fat.
You're not fat.
That's all I wanted you to say.
Well, you're not fat though. Come on.
Go on, Ryan. 3 and 4 for you.
All right. 3 is going to be drafting best ball teams on Underdog is a guilty pleasure of mine. I mean,
good.
I love it. It's an obsession, but when I win the big prize, nobody's gonna be saying anything. They're just gonna want to hit me up for free shit all the time. So the last pick that I'm gonna have is another food related one, and it's a very specific one, but it's dipping the. So it's already a bad move to get the purple bag Doritos, but then to dip them in bison dip too. It's so disgusting, but it is really, really good. So that is like the ultimate like fat.
Wait, what's the purple bag?
Purple bag Doritos, spicy chili, sweet spicy chili Doritos. Yeah, the best ones.
That sounds horrible.
No, they're so good. You have to try it. It's
This is why the judge went in on you for 3 months. I kid. No, that's a great choice. And then the bison dip is like next level. That like is a missed opportunity many people don't utilize is the Dorito and the bison dip. So well played.
I'm gonna stay true to myself here because sometimes I try to pander to the crowd. I think I have a couple that would be funnier or like more, but I want to really use one that is for me. And there's nothing better, and I've only divulged into this more since being separated. I absolutely love eating by myself. I love going to a bar and sitting at a bar talking to whoever the fuck wants to talk to me next to me. Even if they don't want to talk to me, they're going to end up talking to me. And just having a nice meal on a Friday night and doing my own thing. And even better if it's like out of Buffalo, a little anonymity. I could be whoever I want. Is that a word?
It is, but not the way you said it. Yes.
Why don't you shut the fuck up, Ryan? But no, I there's nothing better than that for me. It is I can go out every day of the week, eat at a different bar, talk to the bartender, and eat good food. No, that's I'm gonna
see. I love that. And you notice how like that's totally acceptable. But like if you try to talk to somebody on an airplane, like you try to do that on an airplane, that you can't do that, right? Like it's a different setting.
So is it? Do you
Not
think
for
it's?
Louis.
No, I really, and I totally agree, because I really am not that person. The only time I ever talk to somebody on the airplane is when someone noticed me in Houston from the In the Hut podcast, like literally in Houston, and then we sat right next to each other, and all we did, we just talked Bills the whole way home after the horrible Houston playoff loss, by the way. But that was, I think that's been the only time I ever talked to somebody. So I am very, but I think you're right. But I think it's being trapped, right? Like in a restaurant, someone, if they are not enjoying my conversation, they can make it known. They can go to the bathroom. They can turn to somebody else. On a plane, you're just stuck. So I don't like putting that pressure on anybody, especially there's so many nervous flyers and all that. Like our friend Mike Shope, I play with him a lot and going to Vegas and stuff. And he's a very nervous flyer, and it makes me nervous, because now I'm like, oh, I have to be the one that's got to keep him company. And like, are you okay? And I don't know what to do in that scenario. So yeah, I agree with you, but it's a different thing at a bar.
Yeah. Huh. I never understand nervous flyers. So I'm just like, wow, what's so,
I am too, for sure.
But like, what's to be afraid of?
Dying.
The plane.
Have you seen La Bamba?
The fact that you're up, tens of thousands of feet into the air, and you're just in a big, giant metal box. Really? That's.
You know what? Lost just celebrated its like 20th anniversary. So I mean, I guess. Yeah, most people don't survive. Okay, what? Okay, all right. I like that. So this is my final.
Yeah,
my guilty pleasure is drafting best ball teams. I don't think I'm surviving in the jungle for any period of time.
Wait, don't I have a fourth? Do I have a fourth, or did I do it? No, I didn't. Eating alone. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So eating alone. And then mine is for our 15,000 female listeners. I love watching Dyson hair videos. Like there's a Dyson Airwrap, which I have, and it's just people blow drying their hair and styling it. It's like blow drying your hair is so annoying, and watching someone else do it, it's so nice. Oh, it's
on
very
like YouTube.
Yeah, or it's like on Instagram videos, and they just like blow dry their hair and then they style it, and then it just looks beautiful. And as I lay there, like with like like eye patches and just like a crooked eyebrow, and I'm like, this is great. Like it's so great to watch someone else get ready. Like when people put makeup on, I don't know, I love it. The get ready videos.
That's funny. And Ryan, I know Allie, you don't. Ryan, you might have experienced. You let your kids like do YouTube Kids or whatever. My daughter at all? Are they on that? No.
Not on like, I mean, we'll show them stuff like through YouTube, but not like they're not gonna explore it.
My daughter loves, she calls it You Kids. It's YouTube Kids, and that's like, it's a treat, if you're being good, I want You Kids. All right, here you take my phone, and how I'm with my phone, so it's not very long time. Like, here, take it 20 minutes, and I'll hyperventilate over here while I don't give a shit if it's my 3-year-old daughter, a female, is touching my phone right now and having flashbacks, but she'll do, and she'll watch videos of other kids playing with toys. And I'm like, you have the same toys and that you could play with right in the next room.
It's like how-to videos, though. She's making sure she's like playing Barbie or blocks correctly.
Right, it's so weird. Couple things you said to our female customer. The reason why I didn't put this is because I don't think it's really a guilty pleasure, because it's how many people love it. I think it might be a guilty pleasure for a guy, but Tay Swift is one of my guilty things. A bubble bath with some John Mayer or Jack Johnson. Give it to me all day long. It's really spread. Overalls. I've spent a lot of my life hoping that they come back in. Yeah, but they're back in now. But I also I'm too fat for them now. I tried to wear some at a show recently, and it was just I just looked like a fat farmer, you know. And I thought so that wasn't. But I do like a good pair of overalls. Dipping into nostalgia is one of my favorite things to do. Like whether it be like I'll once a week, I will like when I'm not comfortable, whether it be mental health, whatever, physical, whatever, my comfort is turning on like a 90s sitcom. Like I'll turn on, Full House or like wrestling from the 80s. And that's all I dig into that a lot. I love watching people get hurt, mostly on YouTube videos, just, like people get kicked in the balls or fall off a mountain and they're all alive. And then the last one I had on my list was drinking milk out of the carton. I do that all the time since I've been single. I wasn't allowed to when I was married, but I feel like I do that quite a bit now. Wait, you guys both are judging me hard. You don't think that that's acceptable?
No, I don't think I've ever really had the urge to like look at the milk carton and be like, I just want to drink straight from this. Like, what's the appeal of that?
Yeah, I don't.
I am on. I know this is like a Shane Gillis.
I'm on his and hers.
No. All right, we were done talking about that. No, I've been on a milk kick. I think it's just having a toddler, but I've been back on my milk for a couple of years. Anyways, go ahead, Allie. I know you want to.
Lori was one of my still very serious guilty pleasures. Discount shelves in any store is really great to look at. I have two dogs that are the loves of my life. I always go to the dog toy section. And then bad review picks. If you go to if your shirt you like or like express.com, like look at what they wear and it's always bad, or Amazon. And you just can be so repulsed at what people's nail beds look like, what they post, how blurry, how cracked their screens are. You'll just feel so good about yourself because
that's really good. That's good.
It is something. And a good sneeze. A good sneeze is another guilty pleasure.
Really?
I set my house alarm off like 4 days ago. It's so annoying that my house, I'm not joking.
That's great.
I literally thought I broke the glass on my. Yeah, it's
That's funny. Ryan, any off your list?
No, I didn't really have a lot of extras on the list. But I was thinking the only other one I thought of when we were talking was just The Office, like binge watching The Office. When you mentioned like an old show that you just like to watch, like back in the heyday, like I was just watching that on repeat and just never got sick of it. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Well, that was a good time.
That was excellent. My favorite thing that was discussed was the white slot receiver, and Scrappy Doo. So that was a great podcast. Everyone,
it wasn't my ED.
No, there it is.
Wait, when you say Scrappy Doo, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that what a sad beaky is called? A Scrappy Doo? When you're just getting by with on 30%, that's a Scrappy Doo. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. We will talk football next week, right?
We'll be back next week.
If you are, please like and subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We are on all of the good stuff. So thank you again. Thank you for listening for Analytics, For the Nerds. We'll see you soon.